So we've seen the basic elements for this, classification and taxonomical this thing. So what are all the basic concepts which is to be counted? Okay. Next is that we're going to see about nomenclature. So as you know, nomenclature means the process of naming. Okay. So what we mainly follow is binomial nomenclature. Okay. So what is this binomial nomenclature? Is that binomial? It is two names. Okay. Binomial nomenclature. So this was first given by the scientist called as Casprin Bohan. Okay. So Casprin is a scientist who gave in this binomial nomenclature. What did he say in this is that any organism we can name it by with two names. Okay. One is, the two names are, one is your genus name and then your species name. Okay. So genus name will be, see, always the names, the binomial, the name should be in the italicized letters. So genus name and species name, specific epithet can be taken, and that is used for naming the organisms, which is the most widely accepted methodology. Okay. Because it is easy. When you go for the other units like your kingdom, phylum, etc., it is very difficult because it is huge, whereas this is more specific. So I will name the organism based upon the genus and species name. It should always be written in italic letters. Species name should be in small letters. Okay. And then there should not be any repetition. Okay. If two scientists are finding out the name at the same time, okay, the same new name, then those whomsoever is finding out first will be given that name. The other organism used to go for the alternate name. Okay. So likewise, there are many rules and regulation for this binomial nomenclature. And the most important one is you have something called as tautonym. T-A-U-T, tautonym. What is this tautonym? Is that this is a case in which where the genus and species name are same. For example, the snakes, that is your Naja Naja. In this, the genus name and species name both are same. So this is an example for the tautonym. This is this is mostly seen in some animals and some rarely in plants. Okay. And then followed by this, there was a trinomial nomenclature. Okay, trinomial nomenclature, but this was given by Lamarck. But this was not, very widely accepted. So this was by Lamarck. But this is not because they found it difficult to name using 3 or 4 names. So that is why they didn't find this interesting. Okay. So binomial nomenclature was given mainly by the scientist called as Casprin Bohan. Okay. So, and one more thing is that, okay. So always, as I told you, the generic name should be in the capital letters. For example, if you're Homo sapiens, Homo, and this should always be in small letters. So likewise, the generic name should be in the capital letter, whereas the species name should be written in the small letter. Okay, and it should always be Latinized, or it should be in the italics font. Okay, then okay. You have a restriction for number of letters which can be used in the short form. Here maximum, see, the full name is fine, but maximum you can use 3 letters here, while you're telling E. coli. Okay, so something like that. And here maximum up to 12 letters you can use. Okay. So with all these restrictions, this binomial nomenclature is the most widely accepted methodology for naming the organisms. Trinomial has come, but still it is not very famous. Okay. Next, what are we going to see is the taxonomical characteristics or categories. Not characteristic, categories. Okay. So if you see this, so you have the order on which the entire thing is classified. One is kingdom. See, here what I've told you is the parameters which should be considered. Here about the naming, there about the classification. After analysis of all these two, where am I putting it? So I'll use the different color. So exactly where am I putting the organisms is what I'm going to tell you now. So first is your kingdom, then division or phylum. Okay, kingdom, division or phylum, then class. Okay, then see, you first of all you should know what is kingdom, what is phylum, what is the order, and then family, genus, species. Okay, so class, then comes your order, then comes your family, then comes your genus, and the last is your species. Okay, kingdom, division, division or phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. 7. Okay, yes. So this is the order in which you are classified. So if you see here, as you go up the group, okay, the common characters are reduced. Okay, the similarities are reduced. Okay, the uniqueness is reduced. But as you move down the group, it is more specific. Okay, you can find the closely related ones, but as you move up the group, it is more generalized. You cannot see any common characters as you move up the group. So if you see the kingdom, so I'll start with species. The term species was coined by the scientist called John Ray. He's the one who coined the term species. Okay, actually I can call the unit as one unit of category as taxon. This is one taxon, taxon, taxon. So class is a taxon, order. So whatever parameter based on which I'm classifying, it's called as taxon. Okay. So this is the lowest. Okay. So if the organisms are under same species, it means they'll share more of common characters. Okay, compared to the organisms of same kingdom. Okay. So this is the lowest level of classification. Than this, you can find more of similarities here. Species was coined by John Ray. For example, I can say this Brassia, Brassia inothera, Brassia indica, all these are having the same species. Okay. So what is, when I say same species, what is common is that they will have some common ancestors. They'll have same morphological, anatomical characteristics. Okay. They can be inbred amongst the same group for many generations, and that will increase the fertility or the quality of the offsprings produced. Okay, inbreeding is possible amongst themselves. So they are like more related to the close relatives. Okay, or the group of organisms with same morphological and evolutionary history. So they are all put under species. Next comes your genus. So compared to species, in genus, the characteristics are less common. Okay, in this it is more common, in this it is comparatively less common. For example, I can say this potato, then brinjal, all these vegetables, all they're all coming under the family called as Solanaceae. Okay, so genus called as Solanaceae. So you can say they're all coming under the same genus. Genus in the sense, comparatively they'll have less characteristics, but they're not very distant relatives. Okay, potato and brinjal, you can see all are common. Okay, next comes your family. So in this family, family, if you see, again compared to genus and family, the common characteristics will be comparatively less. So the best example which I can give in here is the flowers. That is nothing but your Petunia, Datura. All these are the flowers belonging to the same that is the Solanaceae family. Okay, so Petunia, Datura, metal, all these are the flowers which are belonging to your Atropa. Okay, so they're all belonging to the same family. Okay, so next is genus, as I told you, Brassia, Brassia inothera, Brassia lamarca, all these are the same genus. Next is your family. Next, order. So if you see order, in order, again compared to family, they'll have the characteristics less. Okay, so order is mainly to differentiate some of the distinguishing features. Okay, for example, some organisms of the order, see, order is family is more of the characteristics. At least the organisms belonging to the same family will have some common characteristics, but in order it is not there. Okay, Then coming to your class, okay. So if you see the class, okay. So if you see the class, in class, what example I can give you is the categories like primates, non-primates, okay, carnivores, primata, and then non-primata. All these are different classes, okay. So I mean, all these are different orders, but they're all belonging to a common class called as Mammalia. Okay. So class, the best one more example which I can give you is that under mammals, sorry, under mammals, what I have is the primata. Okay, then I'll have this non-primates. All these, see, cow, cat is also a mammal. Okay, humans are also mammals, but they belong to different class. Then coming to your phylum. Okay, so if you see this class, I can primates, non-primates, etc. Then coming to your phylum or division. So phylum or division. In this, if you see, you have a lot of phylums like your Porifera, Coelenterata, all these are phylums, correct? So they have very less common characteristics. For example, Poriferans, you know the difference. And then last one is your Echinodermata, Mollusca. So you can see the difference, okay? They're totally irrelevant, okay? The common characteristics are very less, okay? And then your kingdom. In kingdom, it is again a vast thing. So there the characteristics are least common. This is the largest unit of classification. Okay, so this is a broad group, so you cannot find out any common characteristics here. So you cannot relate the individuals here. You cannot pick up the closed ones here because it's a very broad group. Okay, so this is how the units are classified. Okay, I'll just repeat the examples alone. So first one is your species. In species, as I told you, this Brassica Elocera capita, okay, capitata, Brassia Elocera botrytis. Okay, these are the two examples for the species. Next comes your genus. In genus, as I told you, Solanum, potato, brinjal, all these. Then your lion, tiger, all these are belonging to the same genus, that is nothing but Panthera. Then coming to your family. Okay, family, I told you Solanum, then Petunia, all these belongs to Solanaceae. Okay. Next, your order. In order, carnivores, herbivores, all these are coming. Then class. In class, I told you primata, non-primata, carnivora. All these are different class, different orders which are coming under the class Mammalia. The common class is nothing but the Mammalia. So in Mammalia, you have many classes. Next is your phylum. Okay. In phylum, I told you Mammalia, aves, reptilia, amphibians, all these are different ones. Then kingdom, I told you kingdom is the highest this thing. So in this, the common characteristics are very, very, very less. Okay. So if you see, as I told you, if you go down the group, the specificity decreases. If you go up the group, the specificity increases. Okay. And then, sorry, if you go down the group, the specificity increases, up the group decreases. And then, as we go up the group, number of organs, okay, but as we go, it's totally inversely proportional. Okay, as we go down the group, what will increase is that specificity increases. But as we go up the group, number of organisms increases, then complexity also increases. Okay, and number of common characters decreases as we grow up. See, they'll ask the questions like this only. Okay, when we go up the group, what happens? When we go down the group, what happens? So I'll just repeat. When you go up the group, number of organisms will increase. Complexity will increase. But number of common characters will decrease. As you go down the group, number of organisms will decrease. Complexity will decrease. Number of common characters will increase. Specificity will increase. So these are all the things which can be asked. Okay.